What is going on, everybody? I'm the aggro, and we are going to be playing some OU with a team, because this is Arbor with aggro. I almost lost myself on there. We're going to be talking about U-turn and volt switch, and what they do. We already talked about baton pass. These are the other two switching moves. I mentioned them in other videos, and we're going to go in a little more depth. U-turn and volt switch. They deal damage. They're both 70 base power. One is special. One is special. One is physical. Bug. Electric. And one is special, one is physical. They both switch you out after damaging the target. They are affected by pursuit. Yes, if someone goes for pursuit and you volt switch, you still take the pursuit damage and it gets the boost. That is one thing to keep in mind, but it's useful for keeping you out of Shadow Tag, Arena Trap, and other moves of that sort. Other abilities of that sort. Trapping moves, Infestation, Whirlpool. The switching moves will get you out of those situations. And we're going to get a game here. And we have an interesting team for OU, to say the least. And I'm going to lead with this. And I'm going to volt switch. So we deal a good chunk of damage and we go out. Now I have free reign to pick what I want to switch into on this Drapion. I'm going to go into Scizor because he's steel and resists the poison that might be coming my way. Or is immune to the poison coming my way. I have enough. Now I'm allowed to go just for U-turn and deal another chunk of damage. And the upside of U-turn is Volt Switch has some immunities like Motor Drive, Volt Absorb, etc. and ground types. U-turn has none. It has resistances, sure, but you still get to switch. It's a great move to get initiative. Now right here, what I'm going to do is, because he has the Toxic Spikes up, I have a lot of floating mons, and a lot of things. That Toxic Spike was kind of worthless, actually. Here, I can actually pretty safely go into me Thunder. Or I could just threaten him with the bird. The bird. Smogon bird, death to all. Death to all who defy the bird. And Banded Brave Bird, I know it's not the U-turn, but see, this let me get the switch initiative into the thing that threatens him out. So now he has to switch. He has to play this game with me. And that's an easy 2-hit KO for me. Honestly, those Toxic Spikes were not an optimal play. Here's another tip. No, I'm going to talk about hazards in another video. We'll see about that. I'll teach you more. If you can figure out why his Toxic Spikes were really bad, which it should be kind of obvious, let me know in the comments. I'd love to see you guys just, ooh, he got the critical hit U-turn on me. Ow. My feelings. You hurt them. Oof, he got me. He got me with the crit. He got me. Ow. So, I outspeed this Alakazam unless it's Scarfed, and a super effective U-turn will do a good chunk of damage. And I don't have to worry about the recoil. Or it'll just kill. So that's good. Now is my chance possibly to go into Beedrill. I don't think I'll take it. I think I'd rather go into Thundurus. Because Thundurus right here threatens everything on his team. Thundurus kind of clean runs through him. After that Swampert goes down and the Alakazam. Yeah. Alright. Let's see, this system is giving me the advantage. I can hit with one mon, and switching on these moves gives me the initiative. What initiative is now I have more control of the game than him. If he switches and I get the Volt Switch off on the mon, I now know what he's on and I can switch ahead of time. And I get a little bit of damage on top too, it's nice. So I could U-turn and then go into the appropriate check and or counter to the mon he brought in, and proceed to attack and play from there. think he's going to let the timer run out, so we're going to go ahead and move on. This is an interesting team. He has one ground type. Always be aware of your ground types when you're running a Volturn team. And I like bringing in Rotom. I like leading with the Rotom against enemy teams like this. He smells like a Scarfer. Oh, we have a move. This is probably me being bad, but I'm not going to play 2 games at once. I'm just going to get rid of that one because we started here. Yeah, I can get the Volt Switch off. If he went for Pursuit, he's a real man. He's very real, and I'm not ready for his power. But I'm going to predict him to go for the U-turn or... Yeah, the U-turn. I went into Talonflame to take that, and now the initiative is kind of on my side here because I just forced him to switch. And everything on his team doesn't want to take this. Like, his Rapion does not want to take this Brave Bird. Yeah, everything on his team, everything he has left takes nothing, or loses to this Brave Bird. My headphones just fell off. I don't know why they're wrong. So he's going to slowly lose all his pawns here. And goodbye, Machoke. This will probably kill me to the recoil now. Yeah, there we go. So all that he has left is a Scraggy. And going to Beedrill. We naturally outspeed this, so I don't have to go for Protect to get the speed boost. I recommend going for that usually, though. Protect on Beedrill is a very good move and underestimated. Going to go into Scizor now, because I predict him to go for the Dragon Dance or of some kind. He goes for Payback. Natural Bulk lets me take that pretty well. Gonna go for a U-turn again. He is very slow for a Scraggy. Going to Thundurus. Thundurus can probably take whatever he wants to go for. High Jump Kick. And I'm going to go for Superpower. Yeah, sorry about leaving that other game, but I don't want to give anyone a headache when I do this, so. This man has a Trico. This isn't educational. This is going to be a massacre. I'm not going to do that. That's a much more reasonable team. It's not as good as I would hope. I laddered a little bit for this, but apparently it doesn't matter. I'm not used to OU, so. This is a Nape. Everything in me wants to Hydro Pump this, but also everything in me wants to Volt Switch, predicting the Chansey. So he goes for the Fake Out. The Hydro now. Yeah, I see what I did there is when he faked me out, I assumed since he wasn't Scarfed, he probably wouldn't U-turn and be faster and then go into Chansey. And judging by the fact that he even stayed in at all to Fake Out, made me believe he might just be willing to stay in on anything. It's all about reading your opponent. He goes for the knockoff, which is actually beneficial to me because I don't want to be locked in on anything against this man. He still doesn't really have a switch into this Brave Bird. Chansey can take it, kinda. I'm just gonna U-turn on this Chansey into my Scizor, because if he has Toxic, I won't care. T-Wave. That is A-okay with me. I cannot be burned by the Scalds of the Staryu anymore. Knockoff is really good for me right now. It'll hurt everything. And he's probably, since I'm paralyzed, tempted to stay in of some kind. Knockoff will still do a good chunk to this. And he's a Mega Pidgeot with a Heat Wave coming my way. And if he goes for Hurricane, I'm still an Electric type. Electric and Water will let me resist anything he wants to go for decently well. So yeah, there it is. I outspeed with my Choice Scarf, and he has no immunity to Electric. I am free to Volt Switch on him. I just go for another knockoff. Actually, a U-turn would be wiser. We are slowly whittling his team down and back into the Rotom. You got to be ready to play the slow game a little bit with Volt Turn because you're not dealing with exponential. You're dealing with base 70 moves. But what I'm doing is I'm controlling the board. And now is my chance to go into B-Drill. Now is my chance to get my Mega Evolution off. I am going to not risk the Protect, and I'm just going to go straight for the U-turn. It does a good amount. I feel like he went for Shell Smash. I'm going to go into Talonflame risking that. Okay, he went for Shell Smash. He's possibly White Herb, possibly Sash. He's Sash. So, as long as he doesn't have the Ice Shard here, we should be safe. He has the Ice Shard. This could be a problem. So we have to go into Scizor here and risk the Para on the Bullet Punch. See, this is the problem. Like I said, ooh, this is bad news bears. He went for another Shell Smash. He got greedy. He messed up. That is a bad play. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, okay. That was a bad play. He played off me getting paralyzed. So right after recording, I decided to get this game, and this shows off a little bit more of what Volt Turning can do than what nonsense I showed. So we're going to go with the Rotom, and hold up. We're going to have this go we're going to have this go slow. Yeah, we're going to have this go slow. So I lead with the Rotom, which gives me a good position because he leads with the Charizard. And I get a safe Volt Switch off, probably breaking this Alakazam Sash. And as I showed earlier, Talonflame outspeeds Alakazam, and I'm safe to go for a U-turn here. He probably assumes I'm going for the Brave Bird, so he goes into what is often a good counter, Tyranitar. Instead, I hit him up with that banded U-turn, and I get to get out of there. Puts me in a good position because I know this isn't Scarf Tyranitar. I'm banking on it, so I can get the Mega Evolution off and go right for the U-turn instead of going for Protect. Protect is still a good move, though. Don't think you don't have to run it. Let you Mega on a lot of things. So I get the U-turn off. He goes into Skarmory, which is obvious. It's a great counter to B-Drill. He gets the Rocky Helmet damage, but my damage is more important here because he has Sturdy. His Sturdy is broken. I can now force him out with my Thundurus. Here, I know even the Tyranitar doesn't want to take this, the Conk doesn't want to take this, nothing wants to take a T-Bolt, not a Volt Switch. Even this one. So I do a clean 50%, and he has leftovers, meaning he could have lived the next one. Instead, his leftovers is negated by the Sandstorm. So I go for another T-Bolt, do another 50%, and he's gone. So now he's got to clear. His best option here, I guess, is Charizard. Now, I was a little confused here, but then I realized he has a Sand Setter. Why would he have Charizard Y? So he has Charizard X confirmed. I confirmed the Charizard X. I get the Volt Switch off. It does still a good chunk. I'm assuming he's going to Dragon Dance, so I go into my priority user to threaten him out. Plus, I could have taken anything he'd gone for, except maybe a super powerful Dragon Claw. Here, I am not playing around with this Charizard. This Charizard could ruin. If Talonflame goes down, that Charizard kills me. So I don't play around. I go right for the Brave Bird. If he goes into Skarmory, I've lost all my initiative, all my control of the field. But I had to force him out. I've pushed him back into his Skarmory, which is good enough for me. I take this opportunity to go into my Rotom, I think. No, my Mew, because I predict the rocks to come up here. And this is a defogging, Volt Switching, Will-O-Wisping Mew. And he goes, I believe, for the Roost here to get his 30 back. But I decide to break it with a Volt Switch, which does a good chunk with a crit. Huge chunk. Still a good chunk. If it wasn't a crit, that'd be like a 40%. I switch into Thunderous to threaten him out again into the same thing, but he goes for Whirlwind, oddly enough. And he Whirlwinds me into Talonflame, and Talonflame can't touch him unless I go for a Flare Blitz. So I decide to man up and take the Rocky Helmet and the Flare Blitz Recoil out, and just go right for the kill. He goes to Tyranitar here. Either he Pursuit Traps me, or I switch out, or I go for a useless Flare Blitz. I try to get away with it, even though he's going for Pursuit. Not a big deal. Not the end of the world. Talonflame was good, but I still have Beedrill. So I threaten him out with a U-turn here. He has to go into Conkeldurr, which Conkeldurr still threatens my team. I have the HP Psychic, I have the not HP Psychic. I have the Psychic on Thunderous now, but not during this game. I go for the trick. I decide his Assault Vest and his knockoffs and all that are not worth the trouble. So I lock him into Drain Punch. And I have a Psychic type and a Flying type and a Poison Bug type, so him being locked into a fighting move is a good thing for me in the end. And now Volt Switch does a good chunk. So I go into Mew. He goes for the Drain Punch here. I predict him to switch here because I brought in a Psychic type, so I'm assuming he's going to feel threatened out because I did not reveal the Roost or the Willow. I only revealed I was a special attacking Mew. So I go for the Volt Switch, which is really good for me because he went for a Tyranitar. I get the initiative again, avoiding the Pursuit Trap. Go back into Beedrill, I believe. No, Thunderous. Oh, because I timed the Sandstorm to stop. Sandstorm gives Tyranitar a Def Boost. Now that the Sandstorm's gone, a Grass Knot kills. And anything he switches into would not want to take anything else. Here, though, he gets to go down the Kazam because he's faster, and I have no switches to this. So it's time to fodder Rotom. Rotom has done well. He goes for the Shadow Wall, predicting my Mew, which is a good play on his part. But I'm sacking my Mew, or my Rotom. Assault Vest coming in clutch, not really, but kinda cool. Living that Shadow Ball. So now I can go to Beedrill, and Beedrill is bees. The bees, they sting. I can go for the Poison Jab. In case he switched into Conk, I was not willing to take that lying down. So he goes in Charizard here. I was kind of confident that this was a roll right now. What's happening right now? But it doesn't really matter because even the roll puts him down in Bullet Punch range to Scizor. I was just banking on him not having the Roost here. I keep Beedrill in case I need it for the Conkeldurr. Because if I needed to kill the Conkeldurr, I decided Mew was not doing me any good anymore. So I sack him. I sack him off. Because Will-O-Wisp doesn't do me any good against that. Against a Fire type and a Guts user. So now that he's got this boost up, I can't go into Beedrill. I mean, it might be bulky and I might outspeed him. But it's not worth my risk. So I go into Scizor and I go for Bullet Punch. And Banded Bullet Punch is enough to clean up the Conkeldurr, even after a Drain Punch. It's enough to 2-hit KO the Conkeldurr at that range. Puts him at 9, he goes for Drain Punch. Puts me at half. It's a strong Conkeldurr. It's a max attack Conkeldurr. I finish it off with another Bullet Punch. So yeah, that was Volt turning at some of its finest. I don't know. I feel like I played well. I feel like my opponent was playing well. I feel like that was all in all a good game, showing off what the moves can do and what they can be done, what the predictions are needed, when not to go for the switch moves, when to go for the switch moves. Alright, I've been the Aggro. You've all been awesome. See you all next time.